I wonder if there's any ulterior motive as to why the Chinese government would want to subsidize telecom infrastructure so aggressively. Even you get rid of this whole thing around privacy and, what is being done with the data. The answer is no, it's not fair. It's pretty straightforward. Last episode on the show, we had a sad ending to the show. We mourned the loss of Hong Kong's freedom, and now you are seeing reverberations of that. We spoke about the Splinternet. We've spoken about Splinternet many times on the show. You are seeing that reverberate now across other parts of Asia, Southeast Asia, with Singapore. Singapore is divesting themselves of Huawei infrastructure and going over to Ericsson and Nokia. Full disclosure, I've bought some shares in Ericsson and Nokia because I think that they will benefit from basically these, geopolitical forces that are deliberately trying to undo the government subsidy of Huawei, the Chinese government subsidy of Huawei. They absolutely want everyone to get cheap infrastructure from Huawei subsidized by the Chinese government. Okay, the coincidences just continue to repeat themselves on today's episode. I wonder if there's any ulterior motive as to why the Chinese government would want to subsidize telecom infrastructure so aggressively, and now have their towers into places like the UK, Europe, Singapore. I wonder if they can eavesdrop on that. Like now, Pompeo is also saying that the U.S. is considering to ban TikTok in the United States. Now, this was just kind of an off-the-cuff remark that he made. It wasn't an announcement on TikTok and we're launching an investigation. He was kind of asked a question about this and said, we're considering it. And then the news went crazy. If you think about it just from a reciprocity standpoint, and you say, okay, well, if U.S. tech companies can't launch their products in China, but Chinese tech companies can launch their products in the US, is that fair? The answer is no, it's not fair. It's pretty straightforward. Even you get rid of this whole thing around privacy and, what is being done with the data. I mean, these are real concerns. We've seen the US strike down the Chinese acquisition of the LGBT dating app called Grindr. This Chinese company wanted to buy this. U.S. government said, no, you can't buy it. Sensitive information in there. So think you're a government official. You're using this LGBT dating app. That could be sensitive information that you don't want publicly disclosed, or you certainly don't want in the hands of the Chinese government. They could use to exploit you or have leverage on you or whatever the case may be. So they struck that down. There is precedent of that. Now, that was a U.S. company being acquired by a Chinese company. This is a Chinese company entering the U.S. market. And oh boy, do I feel bad for that former Disney executive, Kevin Mayer, who is now the CEO of TikTok. And I mean, we've covered a lot on the show. There's just a lot of issues with TikTok. I can tell you this much. If TikTok is being looked into, Zoom should also be looked into. Now, Zoom is a different thing where technically it's a U.S. company, but all the engineering and product development is from China. So TikTok is a clear-cut issue. It's a Chinese company, product and engineering in China, entering the U.S. market. India just banned it. So that's a little clearer cut. But then you're going to wade into more of these gray waters around Zoom, which has had now multiple run-ins with issues with censorship and the Chinese government. Hi, this is Alex from Winner Take All. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the content. Feel free to leave a comment, ask us questions, and definitely make sure to join us on our next live stream.